Here we have a CX surf track from SkateTherapy, a Waterborne surf adapter, and a Yo Melaki. It's not Meraki. Melaki with the L, because it's actually the Chinese copy. It's the same deal, but with a very loose spring. Thanks to the TBS quick release system, we will try one after the other in the very same board, to be able to compare right away the feeling on the very same shape and wheelbase. The board we are using is the Undertow, and we start with the Melaki because it's the first time that I tried in such a big and comfortable deck. No doubt, the Yo systems are very smooth, and you need to skate them for a little while before to gain confidence. Differently from a CX system, if you let it go too much, you will go off balance. Which is not a defect, it actually makes it a better surf trainer, forcing you to control your balance. Otherwise, it's very easy to nosedive. That happens when you shift most of your weight over the front axle. Check it out how to shorten up the wheelbase. In the Yo system, the axle is way behind the front bolts. If you place your weight over them, you are already off balance, and so it is very important to stay behind them. These screws looks a little weird because they are part of the TBS system, but their position is almost the same. Staying right behind the screws, you can put all your weight when you're sliding, because you will stay exactly on top of the axle, which is further back compared to the other tracks. This is what makes the wheelbase shorter, with the result to be more turny, will be more easy to gain speed from zero, but it will get very hard to pump over a certain speed. I'm just talking about the wheelbase effect. For the rest, it depends from your bushing, the kind of spring, and obviously your back track, which also have a big influence over your setup. In conclusion, with the Meraki, I would never go under the 17-inch of wheelbase. And now, let's try the Waterborne. I'd like to remind that in all these tests, we are keeping the SkateTherapy backtrack. That does remind the C2 from Carver, but it leans more and consequently turns a little bit more. And now let's go exploring this place, because for me the strength of the Waterborne is the comfort riding long distances. It is easier to reach higher speed just pumping. I know that for some of you it's not like that, but this is because you are not pumping with your legs. It does pump with the rotation of the shoulders, as every good surf trainer, but it responds even better to a pumping in a longboard style, let's say, with a compression and extension of your legs. Imagine trying to jump without actually leaving the board. All the power will be translated in speed. It does feel like it's turning less than the Yo. Especially at the end of the turn, the track tends to slow down the rotation, being more forgiving than the Yo. It gives you more control. It is just a matter of taste. It doesn't change the position of the axle so that you can keep your usual stance. The height is about the same of the Yo system. If you combine it with the traditional kimping track, that for me is a must on the Waterborne, because using reverse kimping track, it became definitely too high. Also the leaning is very similar, but on the Waterborne you feel free to lean more because of its stability. As the Yo and the Waterborne have this two-axis motion, I mean the whole track rotates before on a swivel plate and then on a regular traditional kimping track. When you are turning, the axle ends up staying more on one side of the board, more on the right or more on the left. The situation is what, in my opinion, makes them more pumpable and also give a more surfy feeling. but it comes with the inconvenience that is shifting the center of gravity, making the board more unstable. Using the CX, it may feel less pumpable, but it will definitely feel more stable and predictable. And now let's install the SkateTherapy CX track. Compared to the previous two systems, the main difference is that it's just turning on one axis.
Let's go!
It may look like a regular track, but it actually has a longer kimping, so it leans more and turns way more, so it is totally possible to surf with it. Being lighter and more predictable, it is definitely my everyday choice. I gave to this track so much leaning that pump almost as well as the other two. Personally, I prefer the CX track because it allows you to mix different styles, like obviously surfskate, but also dancing and freestyle. But this is up your style preferences. If you want to make long distances, definitely go for the Waterborne. If you like radical maneuvers on low speed, go for the Yo Meraki. In this test I made, we can see that the axle of the CX and the one of the Yo system have exactly the same width. Just the wheels have a slightly different contact patch. A smaller contact patch makes it easy to slide, but being a difference only in the front track, it doesn't really affect the snaps. At least this time we just did some snaps, so we were sliding just the back wheels and not the front ones. At least for my experience, I can confidently say that with the Yo it's way easier to initiate a slide. After the Yo, the easiest one to snap should be the Waterborne, but this time, having a smaller axle, I think that it really influenced the experience, so this comparison is not very fair. Another important thing to remind is that in this test we are using as back track my track that give a lot of lean. This is different from the original Yo setup. In fact, they use just a traditional keeping track with a very huge riser. This choice we can say that stabilized the whole system, but it actually reduced the range of motion. Even here, it's just a matter of taste. For example, if you want to use it in the park, you may like to have less turn and less leaning. Let's say the truth, the park is made for skateboard, so you don't really need such a huge surfy feeling. Same deal for the pump track, that is actually ideal just with a simple longboard. But if you aim to use it as a surf trainer, I will suggest you an upgrade, placing in the back a proper back surf track. In the description you can find this one, that I also sell alone, as I know that it can solve this situation. If you don't have much money to spend, but you have a lot of material, you can consider to put as a back track just a regular reverse keeping that offer you way more lean than the Yo back track. So that when you lean all the way with the front track, the back track can match it almost without lifting any wheel. Instead, the Waterborne, using this back rail, already matched the leaning of the front track. If you don't have the back rail or you want it lighter, yes, you can still use my back track and you will solve the situation.